Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, Mr. Brady and everyone. My name is HASNA PUTRI NAURAH. I'm from PIWAR 2D. And today I want to present about identify the letter of credit used by various companies, starting from what parts are in the letter of credit, what form it takes, the type of letter of credit are used, to the English commonly used in the letter of credit. Let's get started. What is letter of credit? Letter of credit is a formal binding agreement of payment between buyer and seller. So letter of credit or LC are one of the most versatile and secure instruments available to international traders. An LC is a commitment by a bank on behalf of the importer that payment will be made to the beneficiary or the exporter, provided that the terms and conditions stated in the letter of credit have been met as evidenced by the presentation or specified documents. LC is issued by an issuing bank after a request from an importer is addressed to the exporter with a bank intermediary as a third party who will make payments. Next. The important parts that must be included in letter of credit. First, number and date of letter of credit, type and nature of letter of credit opened, name and address of the exporter, the amount of funds available, description of goods and quantity, detailed shipping documents, the deadline for the last shipment, the deadline for the expiration of the letter of credit, terms of shipment, and the last shipping document negotiation terms. Okay, I will compare the contents of documents from 5 different companies. Okay, the first document is from Megabank Corporation. It can be seen that in this document there is an LC number in this part, letter of credit date, and the expiration of the letter of credit. Next part is the amount of funds available is $25 US dollar. And next part is the name and the address of beneficiary. This part is applicant, the name and address of the applicant. Next part is shipping document negotiation terms in this part, and this letters has 3 negotiation terms, such as seen commercial invoice in 1 original and 3 copies. Next part is let shipping date in this letter, June 2nd, 1997, and next part is the terms of shipment. In this part, partial shipments not allowed and planned shipment not allowed. In this document, there is no description of goods and quantity, and we don't know the type and nature of LC or LC opened. Okay, next document is from Bank of China. This letter has number of letter of credit and the date of letter of credit has been made. Next part is the name and the address of beneficiary, the name and address of issuing bank, and the name and the address of the applicant. Next part is the amount of funds available. Next part is shipping document negotiation terms. And in this document, there is no clear description of the goods and quantity, only the details of the cost in this part. And the same as in the first document, the second document, the type and nature of the letter of credit often are unknown. Besides that, in this second document, we don't know the deadline for the last shipment, the deadline for the expiration of a letter of credit, and the terms of shipment. Okay, next. In this third document, there is the name of the sender and the name of receiver of this letter. Next part is type and nature of the LC open is irrevocable letter of credit. Next part is number of letter of credit, date of letter of credit, applicable rules, date and place of expiration, letter of credit, and the name of applicant. Next part is beneficiary name in this document. Next part is the amount of funds available. And next part is terms of shipment, such as partial shipment is prohibited and transshipment is allowed. After that, it can be seen that there is the detail of description and quantity of goods in this part, and shipping document negotiation terms in this part. So when compared to the previous first and second documents, these documents has more complete and clearly detailed section. And so far, the English commonly used of these three documents have different words in their writing and are not the same between one document and the other. Okay, next document. This short document is different from the previous document because it used a box-shaped form. For this part, we can see that there are type and nature of LC open in this part, so we can know this letter use irrevocable letter of credit as the title of this document. So next part is the date of letter of credit, expiration date of letter of credit, and place of presentation this letter in Japan. Next part is the name and the address of applicant and beneficiary. Next part is the amount of funds available. Next part is terms of shipment. Next part is description of goods in this part. And shipping document negotiation terms. And in this document, only there is no number of letter of credit. Okay, just like previous documents, in this fourth document, there is no English commonly used because it is in a box-shaped format and immediately details the parts clearly. Okay, next document. The last document is the same as the first and the second documents previously, is shaped like a regular letter, different with the fourth document. For the parts, we can see that there is the name and the address of beneficiary, but we don't know the name and the address of applicant. Next part is letter of credit number, but on the sensor. Next part is the amount of the funds available is 50,000 US dollars. Next part is the date of expiration, 5 years from issue date, and the place of expiration is our counters. Next part is type and nature of letter of credit open is irrevocable letter of credit, and this part is terms of shipment. In this document doesn't contain the date on which this letter of credit was made, description of goods and quantity, detailed shipping documents, the deadline for the last shipment, and shipping document negotiation terms. In these 5 documents, there are English commonly used in the sentence. This part, we have B. Okay, after we identified from the 5 previous letter of credit documents, it can be concluded that every company has different ways of writing letter of credit. Contains of different letter of credit. The form of the letter is different, such as the fourth document letter of credit using box-shaped format, and certainly any document company with others company will not be the same. Okay, there is enough from my presentation today. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.